What's up, everybody? Is Redfin changing their tune about the housing market? We all know that Zillow's been very bullish in their predictions and Redfin has been more conservative. But this latest report has me thinking that Redfin is starting to change their mind. So what do they really think? And honestly, what is really happening in today's housing market that can help you decide whether you should buy now or wait? Let's just dive right in. So if you remember back in February, the Redfin economists were saying that home price growth was going to slow to about 7% by the end of 2022. This was in contrast to Zillow's prediction that home value growth will end up about 17.3% by January 2023. So what's Redfin saying now? So if you look at this article that was published on March 3rd of this year, Redfin economists say that home prices have surged to record highs as competition heats up. They go on to say the median home sale price rose 16% from a year earlier, making it the largest hike since August. On March 8th, they came out with this statistic that over 6,000 homes in the United States sold for over $100,000 above the asking price. This compares to last year. About this time, there's about 2,400 homes that sold for that much. One of the reasons they cite for this intense home buying competition right now is the war in Ukraine and how that's affected our interest rates, because they have dipped a little bit in this past weeks. Now they do fluctuate daily, so you have to check it, but I do know that a lot of my people are trying to take advantage of that dip in the interest rates to buy right now, which would escalate the prices and make them jump way up. Because as we all know, it's all about supply and demand. It is really that simple. So the supply hasn't increased, but the demand has, because people can see that they have more affordability if the interest rates go down. Another reason that Redfin gives for this increase in demand is that housing demand is outpacing supply as pandemic-fueled remote work encourages many home buyers to relocate to more affordable parts of the country, while the number of homes for sale is at an all-time low. And while I agree with what Redfin's saying and with the obvious decrease in interest rates creating more of a buying frenzy, I also think there's something that people don't really talk about that to me is pretty obvious. Last year, interest rates were so incredibly low that basically everybody I know refinanced their house. You might have done it too. So if you refinance your house at a much lower interest rate, making your monthly payments lower, it's very hard to wrap your mind around paying more for a new house or paying more rent if you're thinking about downsizing. I've had this example happen in real time, in real life, with some of my sellers. They just simply decided not to sell because they're paying so much less money for the home they're in, which keeps the supply down. For example, take a mortgage of $500,000 just to keep it simple. With a 2.65% for principal and interest, that's $2,008 a month. Now take that same mortgage, but apply it with a 4% interest just for principal and interest. That equals $2,387 a month. If you look at that every month, that's a huge difference for the same mortgage. There's also a couple other reasons why sellers really are deciding not to sell, which keeps the inventory so tight. When they look at the stock market and the retirement portfolios and they see it going down day after day after day, it creates a paralysis of not wanting to lose what you have. So by selling their house, they would have to buy another one or go rent somewhere. And when money is fluctuating so drastically day after day, people just don't want to do anything about it. Redfin Deputy Chief Economist Taylor Marr says the war in the Ukraine has rattled the global economy, causing mortgage rates to fall after weeks of increases. He goes on to say that the dip in mortgage rates should buoy home buying demand temporarily, fueling continuing price gains. But the demand may drop off if the Federal Reserve raises interest rates again as expected. So let's just jump over and see what Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is actually saying. According to CNBC, Chairman Powell still sees interest rate hikes coming. Powell said he sees a series of quarter percentage point increases coming, though he left open the possibility of moving more aggressively should inflation persist. He did also note that the Russian-Ukraine war is injecting a bit of uncertainty in his outlook. He remains steadfast in that he wants to get inflation under control amid a 40-year high. but does say that the bottom line is that we will proceed carefully as we learn more about the implications of the Ukraine war on the economy. And inflation doesn't just affect the Federal Reserve, it affects all of us on a day-to-day basis when we go to get gas or when we go to the grocery store, which is yet another reason why sellers aren't selling, and it may cause buyers to be priced out of the market. Simply a matter of inflation and costs going way up. So what's the bottom line? I mean, I've kind of laid out everything that's happening right now. What do you think? Comment below, I want to know. Here's what I think, and then we're going to sum it up with what Redfin thinks. I think that right now in March of 2022, we still have a supply and demand issue coupled with the uncertainty in the war and inflation causing our everyday life to be more expensive, which will lead to fewer houses being sold and possibly fewer buyers in the market because they simply are going to get priced out. That being said, the buyers that are still motivated to buy now in the spring of 2022 will find themselves in bidding wars, and the prices are going to escalate way over asking. $100,000 around here in DC is not that much, believe it or not. So if you are thinking about buying in this market and you know you're going to stay in your house for more than 5 to 7 years and the numbers make sense, I say go for it. But it's a very tough market to compete in. Now let's just end this video with what Redfin is actually saying. Once again, Redfin chief economist Taylor Marr says that the housing market was in a frenzy in the beginning of 2022. With buyers competing for a limited supply of homes and sellers reaping the rewards of bid-up prices. He goes on to say buyers are likely to face strong competition at least through the next few months as demand is buoyed by the temporary drop in mortgages rates fueled by the Russian invasion of Ukraine. But bidding wars may ease a bit by summer as more new listings come on the market and mortgage rates resume their rise. Homes are still likely to sell above list price, but the premiums will probably be lower. He is still saying that the market's going to calm down in the summer. I think we're just going to have to see at this point, because the way things are going and we're in the middle of March, I don't see it slowing down that much. I just don't. There's just too many buyers and too little supply. There is some new construction that I've seen coming on the market lately, and that does give me hope. So we'll see. Like I've said in my previous videos, if you watch them, I prefer a balanced market. I think it's more fair. And honestly, it helps me sleep at night when I know people can get a house if they want to buy a house. But until that fair market comes, if you do want to buy a house in this market, make sure you use an experienced realtor that knows how to navigate this crazy market of multiple offers and bidding wars. And if you are moving to the Washington, D.C., Maryland area and you would like our help, just email me and we will get back to you as soon as possible. We'll set up a Zoom call, we'll get you started, and we will help you navigate this crazy seller's market and make this transition as seamless as possible. If you had any questions about anything I talked about today, call, email, text, morning, afternoon, night. We've got your back, and I do appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider smashing that like button and subscribing and telling a friend. I do appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Bye.